Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn about web service using WebLogic. Code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Dynamic web project. Fine. Next, create Java class. Step 2, create Java class. Right. Next, step 3, create web service. Fine. Next, number 4, deploy web service. And then number 5, test web service. Right. So these are some of the steps that we should follow one by one. So first, okay. Now the thing is that I'm going to deploy this from the Eclipse. Now the thing is that you have to check that you can connect your Eclipse with WebLogic server or not. That is another connect. Now in this example, this Eclipse is connected with the Tomcat server, correct? So your Eclipse should connect with the WebLogic server. Here is another scenario. That is ID should connect with WebLogic. See here, another point. New, others, and right here JAX WS demo 3. Okay, JAX WS demo 3 that we are doing here. Fine. So it is saying does not contain a valid WebLogic domain. What is this? Okay, creating a runtime. So new runtime. WebLogic this. Move next. Okay, WebLogic home. So what is the WebLogic home? Just now you have created. So select the WebLogic home. Just now we have created, right? WebLogic home. So where is the WebLogic home? In the C drive, Oracle, and then I have to go to this one, my WebLogic server, and click OK. So you have selected WebLogic home, right? And if you see here, it's working fine, right? Move next and finished. Done, no error, fine. Okay. So you have to select that existing WebLogic home just now we have created. Then move next. So we have created this, correct? Now see here, using this ID, WebLogic server is connected. If you want to start, you can start. Using this ID, WebLogic server is connected, right? So if you want to restart, it is already show right click, start. So it is giving some error because of something else. So do one thing, you just close this, start. It is saying some problem. So it's fine, just delete this, delete, fine, and create another server. Right click, new server. This is a logic, move next. It is not working, fine. So here you may find configure runtime environment, copy one of them. The last one, remove this one. I'm going to use this one. Okay, move next. What is the domain directory that you have to select for your WebLogic server? Base domain. Right, move next. And this project you have to move right side, move next, next, and finished. This WebLogic server is ready, and let's start the server. Restart. See, the WebLogic server is working fine. Just check WebLogic server is working fine. So this WebLogic server setup should run with Tomcat because then only, using this Eclipse IDE, right? Then only you can deploy. So it is working fine, right? WebLogic server working fine. See, it is running, right? Okay.
No, there's
Next.
two. I mean, there's instead of deploying here in Eclipse itself,
Okay.
you can do outside also, right? From there, where you started from admin console also, you can do it, right?
Yes, we can do start from
This
admin
is kind of
console as
hot
well as
deployment and cold deployment, right? That is
both.
creating some jar or ER file and then deploying there. That also you can do it.
Both also, both you
Okay.
can do it.
Okay.
So both in the sense you can deploy from the WebLogic server from here also. In that case, you have. Okay, sure. Let me complete it first. Then I'm coming. Fine. Now here, dynamic web project we have created. We have created a Java class. Fine. Now you have to create a simple Java class. Okay, so select a simple Java class. Right click, new class, and assume my class name, package name is pp, and class name is calculator. Fine. Move next. Finished. Done. Now I want to do that EMI calculator examples only. I want to do once again. Fine. So since you are doing this EMI calculator examples once again, so that EMI calculator method I should copy paste from some other location earlier. So method, that's it. Without writing the same thing once again. So our Java class is also ready with the method. Now next step, what I have to do? I have to create web service. So very easy to create web service. What you have to do, just in the class level, write @web service. If you just write @web service, the web service is ready for you. So I've just written @web service. Done. So since you have written @web service for your class, so web service is ready for you. So this is the things that I'm going to create the web service using WebLogic server. So these are the steps that I already have done. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. And now I'm going to deploy this web service. Next step, I'm going to deploy the step 4. I'm going to deploy the web service in the server. So how we can deploy? Just select this web service created. Fine. When you're using @web service annotation, it is created, right? Now the question is how I'm going to deploy this web service in the server side. So if I want to deploy this web service in the server side, so just select this web service project, right click, run as, run on server, move next, 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 and finish. So if you see here, it should be deployed in the server side. So now whether it is deployed or not, I have to check. So after running, just right click and click publish. If you click publish, it should be deployed. Publish means whatever things you have deployed into the server, that should be available inside the server that you want that it should be published on the server side. So I want to check it whether it is available or not. So you should logged in in the console using WebLogic server. WebLogic, and then come inside password as welcome one. So if you logged in, then you have to come to deployments. See in the deployments part, you can see the deployed component. Deployed component is this one. So the WebLogic server that you have just now deployed inside your deployment tab, right? Okay. Now it came here. Now what I want is that I want to test this web service. It is deployed. Now I want to see that the deployed web service WSDL file I want to know. and I want to test it. Fine, I want to know that this deployed web service WSDL file, where to go? So click here, calculator service, and click here, testing. Then you can get the WSDL file for this web service. See, WSDL file. If you click WSDL, then you can get the complete WSDL file for the deployed web service. Fine, it is there, right? Okay. Okay, right? Okay. Now the thing is that I told you another one point, that if you deploy the web service inside WebLogic server, then you don't have to think about server-side artifact, not required. That will take care of by WebLogic, right? You don't have to think about the implementation provider jar. It is going to use one of the implementation provider jar. What is the implementation provider used by this WebLogic? Implementation provider name is JAX-WS-RI. Fine. Okay. Next is that how I'm going to test. So you don't have to go outside to test your WebLogic server. Just you have to click test client. If you click test client, WebLogic server will provide you one test client user interface to test your web service. So this is the very good user interface provided by WebLogic to test your web service. You don't, if you want, you can go to SOAP UI to test your web service, is fine. But since you are using WebLogic server, you can go with this user interface to test your web service. Fine. Now I want to give some input here, that I want to take the principal amount as 7 lakhs to buy a particular car, and assume the corresponding interest is 12%, and for 60 months you want to take a car loan. So for how much you have to provide the EMI? So calculate EMI. So calculate EMI. If you click calculate EMI, you should get the response. Yes, if you see here, this is your request, service request. The request has gone as a SOAP message, and you have the input, and the EMI also you will get as a SOAP response. So this is your SOAP request, and this is your SOAP response, right? Right. So when you're going to test your web service, right here. Right, so this is a SOAP request, and this is the SOAP response based on your input parameter. And what we find in this example is that how we can create a web service using how we can create a particular web service using Tomcat. Talked about the WebLogic domain concept, how we can create the domain, right? So after deployment, we find that it is working fine, right? Now we have lots of things to know from here. So the things we have done, we have nothing done new. The same things that we have done using Tomcat, same things we have done using WebLogic. Now, what is the advantage if I'm going with WebLogic server deployment? Lots of advantages there. You don't have to create any server-side artifact. You don't have to add any extra jars that you have added separately. You don't have to create, you don't have to, right? You don't need to create a separate XML files like web.xml file. You don't have to set sun jaxws.xml file. You don't need separately. You have to, you don't have to think, take care of those things. You don't have to think about the jars also. WebLogic server will take care of this, right? Even you don't need the test client also. Test client also, WebLogic server is providing its own client. So lots of advantages there when you're going to use as an application server and test the web service using this application server, right? So it should run for everyone, right? It's running. How you can create a web service? One approach is called bottom-up approach, means from the Java class I'm creating the web service. Okay, from the Java class I'm creating the web service. Still now, whatever the web service you have done, right? So this is also called service first approach. So bottom-up approach is also called service first approach. But top-down approach you have not yet done. Top-down approach means from the WSDL file I want to create a web service, right? So that we have not yet done. So let's try to focus here on the top-down approach, customizing the WSDL file. So let's move into this.